Welcome to our new show, Echoes du Net Congolais. Today we're diving deep into a big argument that's shaking up the Republic of Congo. It's a story that mixes safety, politics, and human rights. The main topic is the recent flip-flop by General Serge Oboa, who leads the presidential security. He first said he was going to start a big operation to hunt down bad guys in the big cities and the ninja fighters in the Pool region. But then, he suddenly stopped it. This area, the Pool region, has always been a place with lots of problems, and it's where Pastor Ntumi, the leader of these fighters, lives. Why did he change his mind so quickly? To understand this, I've picked 3 important posts from the Congolese online community. These writings, shared on social media and blogs, do more than just talk about the news. Their authors really dig into the problems in the Pool region, pointing out how these operations, even before they were cancelled, were done in a messy way. They are speaking out against methods that quickly made human rights groups very upset, especially because there are serious claims of people being killed without a trial. This video brings together these 3 different viewpoints to look at a big question. Did General Oboa act on his own? Or was he perhaps pushed to make mistakes by those above him, especially by his boss, President Denis Sassou Nguesso? The president is known in political circles for his way of leading, preferring to give orders by talking rather than writing things down. This lack of official orders brings up some really important questions. If President Sassou did order the pursuit of these bad guys, did he also approve, or even order, these quick killings? When international groups make accusations, who will be held responsible for these actions? The person who carries out the orders, or the leader who gives the orders without leaving any proof? By looking at these articles, we're going to break down the details of the Ntumi rebel case. We'll check the facts, especially about the helicopter attacks that supposedly hit certain towns, trying to tell the difference between what was officially said and what really happened on the ground. Finally, we'll offer some thoughts on what role Pastor Ntumi might play in Congo's politics in the future. So, here are the 3 points of view that will guide our discussion. The first is an open letter, a respectful and official voice, which fits into the way government works. The second is a personal warning sent directly to the general, a careful voice that hints at an accusation about the dangers of such an undertaking. The third is a sharp accusation, a direct political protest that questions the entire government's plan. And to make sure we hear all sides, we'll also look at a pro-government view about why the airstrikes were necessary. The first voice we're looking at is Louis Modeste Zubabela Ngabanka. His writing, dated January 28, 2026, is like a formal open letter. It's a public message that shows respect for official rules, talking directly to the security leaders to praise a decision they thought was very important. The tone is serious, the words are chosen carefully, with each word showing great respect for official rules. The letter starts with a greeting that immediately shows respect for authority. Mr. Serge Oboa, Brigadier General, Director General of Presidential Security, DGSP, I am honored to send you, with the highest regard, my respectful thanks. The reason for this thanks is a specific official paper. Following Service Note Numero 198 PRCCE DGSP CAB, signed in Brazzaville on January 27, 2026, lifting the previous order. This service note, an internal legal document, becomes a public event here. It officially ends a strict operational rule that had been put in place as part of operations in the Pool Department and its surrounding areas. Lifting this order means, in simple terms, a reduction in military and security presence, showing a clear decrease in tension on the ground. For law enforcement, it's a return to a more normal situation. For the people, it's a strong sign that things are getting back to normal. The author calls this action an administrative act of great importance. He points out that it was made with strict respect for the state's powers and national security needs. By doing this, the author says that you have made a balanced, responsible, and deeply human decision. The praise isn't just for the outcome, but also for how it was done. A royal action, well managed and fair. The human impact is central to the analysis. Indeed, by lifting this order, ending an exceptional arrangement, you show special care for protecting innocent lives and calming the affected populations. This acknowledges that behind security plans there are lives, families, and a community hoping for peace. The very way the decision was made is praised. This decision, clearly and authoritatively formalized through the document you signed and made public, shows a high understanding of the Republican mission. The public nature of the act is seen as proof of transparency and trust, a key part of good governance. This mission, according to the author, is about finding a delicate balance, ensuring the security of the nation while protecting human dignity, a core value of our republic. It's about the ideal of a public force that protects without putting people down, that keeps things safe without making people feel ashamed. But the praise doesn't stop at the head of presidential security. The letter goes up the chain of command to the top of the state. It also seems essential to me to express, with the same respect, my gratitude to the President of the Republic. His Excellency Mr. Denis Sassou Nguesso, whose vision, quiet way, and sense of duty continue to inspire important decisions. The author credits the president himself with starting this calming policy, showing him as the quiet builder of stability. These decisions are seen as crucial for peace, stability, and national unity. The end of this part is a political saying. Choices that save lives and strengthen social unity forever honor public service at the highest level. It's a moral approval of the strategy chosen. The letter ends with the usual polite phrases, repeating one last time the author's respect for the role and the person. Please accept, Brigadier General, the assurance of my highest regard and my deep respect for your constant dedication to the Republic, its institutions, and the Congolese people. Please accept, Brigadier General, the expression of my most distinguished consideration. In direct contrast, Marian Mikil Madzimba Ehuango's voice is personal, urgent, and full of warnings. Leki, Telema, Pema, Pezonga Modo. You don't sacrifice yourself for others. Gratitude has a limit, and that limit is called reason. Pull yourself together, present the list of Kuluna's gang members who are still alive, along with their situations. Expose your agents, who were probably undercover, who committed abuses during this operation, and ask for them to be punished. This will help lessen your responsibility in this messy business, which is very serious. Sassou has never protected anyone in his entire life. Your operation only served to protect Okemba, Ndenge, and their groups, who Sassou still believes are useful for his power. You were manipulated to get rid of Ntumi, who still has supporters even among your own people. Be careful, little one. You are still young. The third voice, that of J. Morin Ndokayo Onza, is the sharpest. It leaves no room for doubt and delivers what feels like a strong accusation. It's a full political criticism, a way of looking at events that doesn't take official statements at face value. For this expert, the pool crisis isn't just a security problem, but a sign of a much deeper political sickness. Brazzaville, January 27, 2026. The signing of this service note number 0184 by General Sergi Oboa, which lifts the troop orders, shouldn't fool anyone. According to this analysis, this document isn't an act of peace, but just an administrative trick. It doesn't mean the fighting is over, but rather the planned end of one part of a strategy to keep things tense. It doesn't mark the end of a war, but the end of a terrible play where the Congolese people are held hostage. A play where roles are given out, lines are written beforehand, and the trapped audience is forced to watch their own tragedy, never able to get on stage to change what happens. Who can still believe in this endless hunt in the pool, an operation that has been going on for years without ever succeeding? The truth, which this document tries to hide with official language, is that Pastor Ntumi remains, from this point of view, the government's chosen sparring partner, a useful enemy whose very existence is needed to keep a certain political order. This supposed uprising is a steady source of income for the government. Financially, it justifies a lot of military spending and secret security budgets, huge amounts of money hidden from parliamentary and public oversight. Politically, it's used as a scarecrow to distract from the real issues: the economic crisis, unemployment, and fair democratic hopes. Every time social pressure grows, the threat of the pool is brought up again, like a knee-jerk reaction. By sending its troops into this fake war, the government never tried to solve the problem, but to keep it going. It's a way of handling a crisis by never letting it end. And that's where General Oboa's personal responsibility comes in. He's no longer just following orders, but a key player in this plan. By trying to act tough and loudly breaking his silence, General Oboa showed a big lack of good judgment. He thought he could turn a military stance into political power, perhaps hoping to set himself up for the future. It's a big failure. His media push and strong statements were met with a wall of disbelief. Today, by signing this retreat order without having neutralized the threat he was talking about yesterday, he comes out of this situation terribly weakened. The image of authority he wanted to show has crashed against the reality on the ground, a reality that isn't military, but political. He was the face of an operation that wasn't meant to win. You don't win a war that isn't meant to be won. You don't win a battle when the enemy is more useful alive than dead, more valuable as a phantom threat than as a prisoner. But there's something worse than the strategic shame. There's the lasting mark of violence. This general, by taking part in this game, cannot erase his words or actions with a stroke of a pen. The service note pulls back the troops, but it doesn't take back the threats made, nor the fears put in people's minds. By treating the democratic opposition as a military target, just like the ninjas, Serge Oboa crossed the line. He mixed peaceful political protest with armed struggle, a dangerous confusion that makes democratic discussion seem criminal. He returns to the barracks today with dirty hands, not from the dust of the battlefield, but from this compromise. The blood spilled or promised to the Congolese people who simply asked for fair elections remains on his conscience and his record. It's important to note that these accusations, while organized, are political analysis and are not supported by public legal evidence. Nevertheless, they raise a basic question. Congo deserves better than these bloody shadow games, where the safety of its citizens becomes a tool for political ambitions. In the middle of this discussion, a voice supporting the government, that of Aminata Ilunga, gives a reason for one of the most argued about actions: the helicopter strikes. The helicopter strikes yesterday in some areas of Pool are causing a lot of talk right now. You might expect the opposition to jump on this right away and start spreading stories about the government supposedly killing local people. But the truth turned out to be very different. Everyone knows that Pastor Ntumi's extreme followers have filled Pool with their bases, full of illegal weapons, which they often hide as buildings or homes. It was these weapon storage bases that were targeted by the strikes, not regular people, unlike what the opposition is trying to make everyone believe. Also, when the strikes happened, these fighter bases were empty. This just shows how much you can't trust what the opposition says. Beyond what's been published, the real problem is with the chain of command. President Denis Sassou Nguesso is known for never giving written orders. This way of giving verbal commands creates a deliberate confusion. If an operation goes well, the credit goes up the chain. If it fails, the person in charge on the ground takes all the blame. Was General Serge Oboa pushed into making a mistake? Did he take a vague order as permission to use extreme force, or was he intentionally set up to fail? The question still stands: who will answer to human rights groups? If Sassou ordered the pursuit of criminals, did he specifically order unlawful killings? And what about the rebel Ntumi? Morin Ndukayo Onze's analysis calls him a useful sparring partner. His existence justifies having a strong military, spending on security, and it takes attention away from other issues. The government might not want to defeat him for good, but rather just manage the threat he poses. Ntumi's future will likely be a lot like his past, a cycle of fighting, talking, and shaky peace. He's too useful to be gotten rid of, and too deeply rooted to be truly beaten. He remains a constant player in Congo's political drama, while the people of Pool pay the price.